Welcome to Zarnia Games and Geekery.
You don't like my clapping.
You have been sidelined, Mr. I have the clap.
Oh, okay. You want to do this show by yourself? Is that what you're going to do? You want to do this show
snaps.
all by yourself? On a review about a cooperative game. You want to fly solo. Is that it? Is that it?
Well, you got me, John.
Well, okay. Welcome to Zarnia for Games and Geekery. I'm Jon.
I'm Adhil. And today we're going to be reviewing World of Warcraft.
We're born to be wild.
Wrath of the Lich King.
You can't do it without me.
This is World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King.
Okay, that's a very long name. Can we just call it Wrath of the Lich King?
We could just call it Pandemic.
Whoa, spicy take. Let's find out more. Why can we call this Pandemic?
So it's actually using the pandemic system, which is interesting. But instead of communicable diseases, we're talking about ghouls spreading across the land.
Basically, we've got a map, we've got ghouls, they spread out and connect to various things, and then we just coordinate, international medical associations?
Pretty much. So the heroes on the map are trying to get together to complete these quests and take down the Lich King. I'm not the hugest fan of cooperative games.
Okay, sounds like a euphemism.
Well, games where you have to play together, play nicely.
Okay, so what, you don't like games where everyone wins?
Or everyone loses, I guess.
Yeah, that is kind of like a downside. Everyone losing.
Yeah.
So either everyone has fun or no one has fun.
And with cooperative games, I think to really make them compelling, you do have to make them really quite difficult. Otherwise, what happens is, if it's too easy to play, nobody's going to play it again. And it's not much of a challenge. So I do think it has to be quite difficult. But one of the things that I've tended to be worried about with a cooperative game is the alpha gamer. And someone comes in, ends up kind of dominating the entire game, tells everybody what to do. It just doesn't feel like fun to me.
Sure, but around the table at any kind of game, whether it's competitive or not, there are going to be some players who are kind of assholes. I mean, have you actually run into a lot of alpha gamers?
If I'm honest, the people that I play with have tended not to be that kind of gamer.
Okay.
So I have been quite lucky.
Well, you do know what they say about if you look around the table and there's no alpha gamer, it's probably you.
Oh, thanks, John.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that, but now I'm going to have to choose my group more wisely, I think.
Why are you looking at me like that when you say you're going to choose your
Because I generally play games with you, John.
I know, but you're looking at me like you're going to cut me out.
Yeah, well.
This is a cooperative game.
Cooperative was the one thing. The other thing is that it's also a pandemic game, right? So the pandemic system has never really been something that I've been attracted towards. I didn't play Pandemic Legacy, which I know was an immensely popular game. For me, having a theme that's a little bit different, something that's a bit more fantasy-based, feels a bit more attractive to me.
Slightly less triggering,
Sure.
I think.
Sure. The system, the card system, to me felt really good, but I know that you found it a little clunky.
I didn't find the overall card system. I found the hero actions frustrating. Well, not frustrating, but like it didn't make intuitive sense to me. I do like the mechanism of the spreading, the conjugation of ghouls across spreading out. It really helps to ramp up the tension and forces you to make a lot of tactical choices together.
And I know we've talked previously about cube pushing and how I'm actually quite a fan of the cube pushing, right? The original Pandemic game had basically a bunch of cubes around the board and they propagated and kind of moved. This game has some really cool minis.
Gorgeous minis, actually, and this is sturdy, good, solid, high-quality plastic.
Yeah, the minis are great. It is a big part of why I've gravitated towards the game, how I've enjoyed playing it, and we've played it quite a lot, actually, with a lot of different teams, different play accounts. Each time I found it quite enjoyable. And each of the heroes that you play has a slightly different ability, and they interact slightly differently, so a lot of the actions that you can take are quite cooperative in that you could move someone else or you could help them to heal or give them a little bit of a bonus. So I think that the way that they all interlock is really quite neat.
I don't have a connection to World of Warcraft, so who these heroes are is a little bit like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll be Thrall. Maybe I'll be Tyrone. Tyrion. Okay, maybe I'll be. That's just like such a classic fantasy name, Tyrion.
Yeah, it's a great name.
You know, like, are you writing a sword and sandals fantasy? You need to throw in a Tyrion. Now, let's just pretend for a minute that like I don't know the pandemic. You know, just like let's pretend I don't, and explain what the heck a pandemic system is.
Well, I think the key aspect of the game is this deck of the kind of Scourge deck, right? Which controls where the new infections, if you like, are going to come out. And the way that they manage them, so they stay at the top of the deck, and then when a new Scourge card comes out, then you actually get a sort of propagation of all of these ghouls across the board. And then those cards that are already out continue to be the ones at the top of the deck, which means that they're more likely to get more ghouls there. And the reason you have that is because once you hit 4 ghouls in a particular spot, it's really bad for us. So there's a doom track, a sort of despair track that will be advanced if that happens. There's what's called an overrun. And when the overrun happens, you get these bigger guys coming onto the board, which are even worse for us. Is the kind of, in a nutshell, that's what the system is about. It's using this deck in a way that any place that's already got an infection is more likely to have an infection in the later round.
And it really helps to set a sort of pressure cooker going on. All your actions, like you need to manage it, like the stakes get higher and higher. You can't just tread water, otherwise you will drown.
And one of the things that I liked about the game was the quest system. And I know that was something that didn't particularly resonate for you. The thing that I liked about it was being able to share the load on the quests. Like, you can't just go off and try and do it on your own. You've got to try and make sure that other heroes come with you. You have to be in the same location at the same time so that you can share the use of your cards to try and get to the bottom of those tracks. And you're racing against time, really, because if you leave it for too long, the game's actually going to catch you.
The quest system was, it really felt weird to me that we weren't burning resources to advance down the tracks. That felt like a bit counterintuitive in a way. I kept on feeling like I was cheating somehow.
Because you just had to have the symbol. You didn't have to use it.
I mean, I know we've like checked this multiple times, but it still seems incorrect to me. You know, there were just a bunch of things that just like offended my sense of order. And I don't know.
We definitely did it right.
I guess that's kind of me, though. Are you sure?
Yeah, we definitely did it right.
I still feel like we're probably going to commit this to video, and then someone's going to point out in the comments, no, actually, we missed the thing. So help me out and tell me that I was actually right.
No. Tell me that I was right.
Team Jon in the
comments.
Adhil. Team Jon.
Hashtag Team Adhil.
Hashtag Team Jon.
Rules rule. Once you've completed all 3 of the quests in the game, you then have to face the evil Lich King. And that's another quest that you have to fulfill. So on one hand, I can understand that maybe it doesn't change gears in a way that you might expect. It feels a bit odd to me that you're just going on another quest against the Lich King rather than some kind of epic battle. It doesn't feel like an epic battle. But I must say, the games that we've played have been very tight. There is a way for you to manage the level that you're on, the difficulty level, and the difficult ones are very difficult. I find them, you have a couple of bad turns and you really are quite behind the 8 ball.
Like, I don't want to be down on the quests, but I do think the most fun I had playing this game was jumping around utterly. Excuse me, I was going to use an expletive to describe the joy of squishing a bunch of ghouls, totally. That's what I love. I love being like the dude with the hammer, jumping.
Yeah, when you pull off one of those epic wins, right? Yeah. When they're one of those moves where you actually take out a whole bunch of them, and everybody at the table is slapping you on the back, and it's we're really getting in there. I think, and the flip side of that is that sometimes that feeling of, we're now falling into this false sense of security, like, oh yeah, we got this, we've got this, and all of a sudden, something happens, you draw a card, it hits a place which was the one place which was going to be the worst spot for you, and everything just goes to hell, right? I find that quite exciting as well.
No, I totally agree. The tension of the how the tension ramps up, beautiful. The joy of squishing ghouls that are spreading around, beautiful. I'm not satisfied by the moving up and down the quest track. That I wanted to be punching the Lich King in the face. Huapa, huapa, chop, ching 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 ching, hua, xiang, huapa, pa 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 pa, ximle,
So what do you guys think? Should the game be pushing some quests around the board, or would you prefer to be eating someone's heart out? Tell us in the comments below. Thanks for watching. This has been Zarnia for Games and Geekery. Please do subscribe, and join us again next time.
You didn't leave anything at the end for me to say.
I was giving you a chance to continue with the physical comedy.
I thought we were going to do some teamwork.
We were doing the physical comedy,
Yeah,
so I thought
like,
I'd continue.
No, I mean, I don't want to distract people while they're going to, like and
I'm
subscribe.
give you indigestion.
Why wouldn't you let me just be a part of this game? Why you got to be alpha game all the time?
Sorry.
I'm not. Don't make fun of my voice.